The Hat Factory opened its doors to the university's new School of Arts and Creative Industries earlier this month as it played host to the Art and Design Masters exhibition. After the COVID-enforced restrictions of recent years, it was great to see a lively crowd come together for the private view of this multidisciplinary showcase, which was titled Pertinacity. Time to get your dictionaries out.
Pertinacity. Okay, that actually came from one of the students. It's a really interesting name. I had to look it up as well. But it's about being relentlessly stubborn and getting the job done, really. And I think it was sort of heartfelt because of what everyone's been through over the last 18 months, that they really wanted to help people understand that, you know, it's not an easy ride, but they were absolutely dogged about getting it finished and getting it done. All the work that's here have something to tell. They have a story to tell. The story is about them personally, wider issues in the world, or, you know, a desire to let people know about hidden things that go on in people's lives.
So my work is called Ghost of Myanmar, and I'm from Myanmar, and recently there was a military coup and a lot of innocent people died, and because of it I lost my aunt and my cousin. So this project is kind of dedicated to them and dedicated to all the dead people who has lost their life, and also as an act of activism against the military coup. It was very emotional, and with the news that I hear from my family back home, it has been a tough few weeks for me, but I think it came out really nice, and I think it came out the way that I wanted it to come out.
My work today that you're having a look at is all based on about mental health and hidden illnesses, especially epilepsy. I've decided to focus on these subjects as they're quite close to myself, as I experience them myself, and I'm epileptic. It's just a way of sort of like just visually showing people what it's like going through that cycle of the suffering and the intense kind of medication and the treatments that you have to go through all the time.
So in general, I would say that my work is about popularizing art among common people, pretty much everyone, and popularizing AR technology, augmented reality, in use, in art and everyday use as well.
I'm an environmental artist, and my passion is to make a change in the world. My character is kind of my subconscious put onto canvas, and this project today is all about Amazon and their wastage. So they've got 21 fulfillment centres in the country, and on average each one is getting rid of 120,000 products to landfill. So if you add those numbers up, that's 2.5 million products that are being sent to landfill every month.
So I'm exhibiting artworks that were made for a dystopian short story about the end of the world, and it presents the ignorance of the people and how they lost the contact with spirituality and the Mother Earth and the God. I've done digital artwork, which I printed out as a physical format of inspired horror gothic stories of Romanian folklore. So it's very culture related to my cultural background.
The showcase, that was formally opened by Vice-Chancellor Professor Rebecca Bunting, was one of the university's first physical exhibitions since COVID restrictions were relaxed, something that the artists thought was very important.
I think it's great that we're finally able to have this experience, because this is my first exhibition, and I think it's great to be able to show my work not on places like Instagram, but actually physically, and people can actually see the detail that go into these canvases that I spend a lot of time doing.
As artists, we want our work to be out there. We want to show our work, and doing it online, it only goes so far. But having a physical interaction, and especially if because I did installation art, especially because of that, I need audience to come into my space. I want them to experience what it is, and I think it has a better impact than doing things online.
Getting people together is an amazing thing to do. It's a relaxing way, and it's just, I don't know, it's just like an open way, creative way of just trying to sort of like more of a, maybe not so in your face, like verbally way of getting a message across. People can come in and just sort of like take it in themselves in their own way, in their own time. And people see things differently, and everyone sees things as messages. And I just think something like this, events like this, is just the best way to get people together and getting messages across, I think.
Like many students during the pandemic, these artists have had to cope with the challenges of online learning during their MA studies. But despite these difficulties, they all had positive things to say about their experience at the university.
I've been here for 4 years now, including my bachelor's degree, and it's been great. This course in particular is a very different change to what I did before. I did interior architecture, and this has kind of like exploded my career path, I think, onto something a lot more artistic, and I think something a lot more fulfilling as well.
Our teachers were very supportive with all this online teaching, and I think it was really crazy for them and hard for everybody, but we still managed to be on time for the online classes and get the proper feedback and improve our work and be able to develop our practice further.
It was very enjoyable, great to meet people from all around the world, seeing different types of art and artists.
I enjoyed it thoroughly. It gives me a different perspective of who I am as an artist. It makes me explore a lot more about me, so that was a good thing.
I'm very, very proud of them. I think they're an extraordinary bunch of people who have just worked their socks off to do this and developed something that's very, very special. None of us expected anything of this to go on over the last 18 months, but to see them actually come out of it with something so creative and so productive and that speaks to people, speaks to anybody. Everybody wants to know more about what they're doing, and they've done extraordinarily well.